Oh, what's up, friends? Y'all hear me? Hear me? Hear me? Yes. Alright. Tonight, I'm just doing a quick little stream. And, I'm gonna be testing my demo for Anime New York City / Play New York City, which is in just a few days now. Man, I have grinded away the last 5 weeks to make this story demo from scratch. And, man, it definitely feels good to be ready and done with it. You know, obviously there are things I wish I could have gotten and but I feel like that's always going to be the case no matter what. Even if I had an extra month, there probably would have been things that I wish I could have got in there. But if I took a step back and I look at the time period of 5 weeks and I look at the demo, I'm very, very happy with what I've been able to accomplish during that time. So I really have no complaints. I'm actually very happy with basically what I'm going to be presenting at a convention with over 100,000 people. And yeah, I mean, it's been a lot on me. Just kind of it's a lot of stress, and I'm starting to come down from that, starting to feel a little bit better. You know, there's still some things I need to do. Like, you know, right now I'm testing the game. I've already tested it extensively, but this is what I'm calling the first final-ish revision of the game, where previously I did a lot of testing myself and with friends to find any bugs and any improvements that could be made to the actual game design of the demo. And so, you know, there were times where I had people playing the demo and something that was clear to me when I put it in the demo wasn't very clear to them, you know, tutorial stuff. And, you know, just general level design. You know, is the boss too easy, too hard? Stuff like that. So all of the game design stuff that I have for the demo is done. I'm not changing the demo anymore at all in terms of well, it would be nice if the demo did this, or, you know, if I added this, or if I tweaked that. The only thing that is being changed from now on is if I find a serious bug that I feel like will be easy for a player at the convention to discover and recognize. There, you know, I'm actually pretty proud of it. There aren't many bugs in the game in general. There's one that I'm very, very, very aware of. It has to do with like camera depth, and it's like a visual thing. I won't go into it right now, but there is something that I've been wanting to fix, and it's just a very difficult technical issue to figure out and get through. And I don't want to like go too wild. I know Zelda, I know she is demanding attention. But either way, all I'm trying to get at is we got a demo, and we're really gonna not try to change it if we can help it. But you know, if we find a bug that's easy to fix and is gonna be, because here's the thing, the more I change, the more likely I am to introduce a new bug. And you know, I don't want to do that. You know, I'm thinking back of like Indie Dev the movie, where Phil Fish changes some things in the hotel room the night before his big convention, and he breaks it in a way that, you know, people are, you know, it's crashing or whatever during the convention, and people are seeing it, and like, you know, his head was spinning from that, and he was super stressed. And it's just like, yeah, I don't want to deal with anything like that, you know. So, you know, thank you, Phil Fish, for learning that lesson for me. All right, so this demo has a story aspect and then an endless combat mode. Endless combat mode is what I've always had in here. And it's just you go around to random zones. Each time you leave a passage, it goes to, you know, another random zone. There's not that many. There's only like 10 zones. And it's more of just a combat playtest. And I've had people, you know, try that out, and it's fun and everything. Sometimes I just play it and zone out to it. But this other mode, the story, is, as it sounds, it's all that you just smack my food with your tail. Wiggle worm. He's wiggle worming. Wiggling around. This is the story demo, and the story demo has so much more than anyone has seen in the other mode that I've put out there. You know, there's dialogue, there's camera blending, there's scripted like, you know, in-game cutscenes, if you want to call it that. There's a boss battle. You know, and there is a new enemy type in there, another Ahigu type. You know, we have lots of those, but this one's just a little bit different. And yeah, I think I'm really proud of it. So anyways, I'm gonna stop yapping now. I'm gonna play it. And first of all, that is not the right. Do I already have a bug? Oh my gosh. Not a bug, but it's a weird, it is a weird, weird thing. All right. We're just gonna start over. Oh, interesting. I actually did find a bug. Is it every time we leave focus and go back in? No. Why did it just happen again? Okay, we found a bug in the first 1 second. Okay. Now let's restart again. It's very interesting. I don't know why it's so weird that this is happening, because no, even in full screen mode it does it. Now I'm wondering. Oh. All right, let's exit it out, and let's look at my config file, because there is a config file for the video settings, and that is something I implemented recently in order to save those settings away. Interesting. Yeah, the resolution in my config file is just wrong. Now I wonder if that's something I caused by setting it to that myself. So I'm actually just going to delete the config file and Just starting it over. Alright. Kind of ruined the whole aura of the it already did it again. That's wild. What's going on here? I've never had like this is the first time. I actually wonder if it's something to do with the stream, maybe? Because that alone right there should save. Yeah, it does save it in the config file. So I'm gonna exit and start it up again. Yeah, all looks good. Huh. All good. Let's go to the main menu. Okay, now we're good. Okay. Did it? Well, there's one last test to do. Restart. This is when it happens. I feel like I've done the restart a billion times. Okay, now it's not happening anymore. It's a little concerning. What? What was that? It's gone now. All right. I'm afraid to restart so it doesn't, but I don't know. I might have to look into that later because that is a little strange. I don't know if that was like a weird config thing or a weird initialization thing or had anything to do with the fact that I'm streaming. Ah, either way, we're actually going to play the demo now. Okay, so we go into the darkness here, and this is kind of a bit of a tutorial to show you how to use your shield, which lights up the environment. So I'm gonna boop. There it is. Zelda, I've been petting you all day. I really have. I've been giving her so much attention all day, and she just cannot get enough right now. Okay. Come over here and for the first playthrough here, I'm not going to probably say too much. I'm just going to play it. I'm going to go slow. Hold aim, hold right stick to aim and auto attack to the beat of the music. Walk over and consume the shaking chunks of defeated enemies to prevent them from rebirthing where they died. So, show some rebirthing. You know, I actually haven't played this on a couple days because or probably one day, but I don't know. Did I work on it yesterday? Okay, I worked on it yesterday morning is when I completely finished everything. Got it to this point. Pressing the D-pad to switch weapons. All right, another tutorial on a dash. I gotta do quick with that one. Slows it down, but it doesn't last forever, so. I had a friend the other day who failed that one, said he didn't realize you could fail it. Ate the entire fireball. I don't know why you failed it, I think he just didn't try. There we go. I'm gonna die. It's gonna be pretty sad if I die when I'm playing here after playing this 50 times already. Oh, that is an interesting bug right there, actually. Oh, you know what it is? Oh, I never thought about this before. But basically, if I fire at anything that has an animation that's off screen, it actually queues the animation up, but it doesn't play it. So the way it works is anything that's not moving and out of view. Well, no, anything that's not moving turns off its skeleton animation. It's the script that handles its animation. And then when it's off screen, it does the same thing. It just doesn't do anything. So if I shoot it from a distance and then while it's off screen, and then when it becomes on screen, it actually has that shake animation queued up. So watch, if I go over here, they're all gonna shake, I bet. Yep. Wow. That's an interesting bug. I had seen it before, where that was happening, but I never really like thought about it until just now. And it makes complete sense. Yep. So like as every grass cluster comes into view, as each grass cluster comes into view, it plays its animation. So it adds like this weird effect, like something was just there. And maybe that's good for a horror game, you know. But no, I'm gonna want to fix that. So this is one of those things, you walk into this and it downs you. That's gonna like teach you how to like about the traps. There were traps in the next zone, but I ended up taking them out just because a lot of people just were not doing good with them. And you know, I take that as I need to design it a little bit better. So I left it out for this one. So the trick here is you got to dash through. Whoop. Here we go. Oh yeah, the health bar was actually something that the health bar could have been what I did yesterday. That was the last thing I did, where I kind of just decided that the health bar was a lot more important to the demo than I realized. Because one, people were spending too much time on the Higus here, the trash mobs. But they keep so people were spending too much time on these guys, and they respawn every time the boss ground pounds. So it was taking people a while to realize that, while at the same time not really focusing too much on the boss itself until like the battle started to go on, and I think it's because they didn't really realize how much health he had and how much they need to whittle his health down to before he dies. And you're a few minutes into the battle and it's like, is he almost dead or is he barely touched? And so having that health bar in there, I think, lets players shift their focus to the boss without spending too much extra time worrying about the Higus here. And even the whole fact that they respawn was something I had some mixed feedback on. It was pretty interesting. One person said, he didn't really like that when he found out the Higus were respawning every time on the ground pound, because it basically he felt like I've been wasting my time. That was annoying. But then there was another guy who said, no, I like that because once I realized it, I felt like I kind of figured out the boss battle, and the fact that it's more about like not letting them get in your way and kiting them and not letting them hit you, rather than instead focusing all your efforts on the boss while trying not to die from them as well. That was the intention. And so adding the boss health bar was something I felt that could indirectly help the feedback from the first guy, which he was just spending too much time on them and not really realizing it. And there we go. And he did. One thing I didn't point out when it happened, but there was a phase 2 on him where he got a little faster and is a little more aggressive. His attacks were a little stronger, faster. Yeah. So that's the little mini boss battle I put in for the demo. Okay, moving on. The rest is just narrative, so I'm just gonna let it play out. This was intended to be a 5 to 10 minute demo for the convention. He has this effect that sucks the light out of everything around him. I think this guy's animation here is like my favorite one out of all of them. Just the the scared looking around. Like that one. That one's pretty cute too. Oh no, they forgot one. All right. Little knocking it back and forth. All right. That was the demo. That's the whole thing. That's what I've spent 5 weeks doing. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, 5 to 10 minutes, short and sweet for conventions. A little bit of narrative, a little bit of combat, you know, little boss battle. All the story stuff is, you know, real. You know, it's not, it wasn't just me throwing something in and just playing pretend for a little while. This story's actually been pretty well thought out so far, and so everything that you saw, you know, already has some sort of lore backing it, and a direction that I know that it's going into, and you know, I you know, I don't have the entire story written yet, but I have a lot of it really well thought out, and I'm really excited to bring it to life because I think it's a great story. Really happy with it. And yeah, I'm very happy with all of this. To you know, I'm gonna play the. So I think I'm gonna play this story demo a few more times, and then maybe try the combat playtest. That's the one I think I'm more worried about right now, just because I have played this one a lot, but I haven't played the story the playtest, the combat playtest that much. I need to I do need to play this demo in ways I don't normally play it, though. That's the thing. Like I realize people are going to not be playing it the way I play it, and so if I just play it at the same time every single time, it's I'm not really testing it. I probably should just like jam on buttons all the time, and oh, I did just trigger something there. I did. It immediately triggers a new bug. I thought I fixed that actually. Interesting. Actually, no, I'm gonna start this. So I that used to be a bug. So what happens is there's tutorials that tell you what button to press to do a certain action. If you're already holding that button when the tutorial pops up, it waits until you press it again after. And so I fixed that before by checking it immediately if the button's already down. And if the button's already down, then it just immediately takes the tutorial message away. And somehow I just triggered that again. Probably should have worked on these load times a little better. This is actually a normally long load time. I did have a friend. Oh, nope, there it goes. I did have a friend tell me that the other day that he thought that the game froze, but really it was just loading, and the loading animation wasn't really let me try it again. Let's reload. Because basically in this loading scene right here, we're essentially loading the entire demo of everything that you just saw. And so we restart, we're reloading all of it, and obviously that's not ideal. I think that you know, and I'll certainly find a way to improve that moving forward. But yeah. Actually, you know what? One thing I should do is I should actually close Unity, because I feel like that might also be interfering with the performance here. I'm gonna pause it, and I actually wonder when I tab out here if this is going to be something that triggers that a bug I saw at the beginning of the stream. All right, let's restart again. Hey, Code, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, so I was holding the light button that time, so the tutorial did go away, so I know it's not that bug anymore. Interesting. I think just mashing before, I just got to take another pass through at some point to make sure that, you know, there's not anything slipping in the way that it just did for me in, you know, the last run. Should turn the sound up just a little bit. Actually wonder what happens. I mean, I feel like I know what happens, but I don't think I ever protected against this. So when you try to leave the level, he goes into combat and says he's not turning back. Oh yeah, and then he tries to go back and then he dies while trying to go back. Oh, and then he eventually gets there. Interesting. What happens if you die during conversation? Okay, so I mean, this is pretty solid. It's pretty much, that actually all works better than I thought it would have. Because basically I made it so you don't die in this demo, and I just thought that was best because, you know, the main intention of this demo is at a big convention. People are going to be picking the controller up and putting it down with only 30 seconds in between. And so, oh, you know what's one thing's interesting? If you collect the last guy over here, watch this. I'm kiting him. Because it's going to like pan over to the, oh. Yeah, it like pans over to the, actually, that wasn't that bad either. It all works. Anyways, like I was saying, you know, for this demo, people are going to be picking it up, putting it down. There's no sense in having like a real death sequence, having people start over, especially for the playtest, the combat playtest, where it's just like, you know, I'm just gonna have people, or you know, people are just gonna pick it up to kill some things and then put it down, and you know, we'll chat a little bit, and you know, not everyone is going to be playing through this whole demo, and I fully anticipate that, you know, and that's fine, you know. For this whole convention, I'm pretty much keeping my expectations really low, just because I have no idea what to expect, because it's like, you know, Anime New York City, first of all, it is an anime convention, and you know, I'm within the Play New York City part of it, which is all games. So like, if people in that section are going to be there, you know, in that section for video games, right? And so it's not like I'm gonna be like out in the middle of something that, you know, doesn't make sense. But I do wonder how many people are going to be going to this video game section at this convention. But I also feel like there's so, like, Anime New York City had an attendance of 100,000 people last year. And the year before that, it was like 60 or something. So it's a massive convention that's growing faster than ever. There's going to be so many people there. Even if 1% of that comes to my booth, that's still 1,000 people. And even if a half of those people play the demo, that's still 500 people. You know, it's crazy. So I would be insane not to think that I'm not gonna have hundreds of people playing it this weekend, but I don't really know what that's going to convert to, I guess, is really what I'm getting at. You know, I've done public playtests before, and they go very good, and it's very fun. And you know, I did one in Brooklyn, which was 5 hours. And hold up, I forget, I don't have my multi-stream chat open. Okay. So I mean, I've done public playtests before, and they're always a blast. I love them. I love watching people play the game and enjoy it. I love yeah, everything about it. And you know, the game is in the best state it's ever been right now. And so, you know, I'm even more excited to watch people's reaction to it and chat with them about video games, and just an awesome time. You know, one of my favorite things about it is just meeting people who have similar passions that I do. And you know, the thing is I'm actually not that much of an anime fan. So it is a strange convention for me to be at, like personally, because there's not really many things there that I'm even really going to care about that much. However, the voice actor for Vegeta is going to be there, and that is like one of my, like, I have to go and at least lay eyes on him. I think it'd be nice to meet him, but I don't know if I'll have time for that. I think if I just lay eyes on him, I'll be satisfied, and the inner Dragon Ball Z fan of me will be satisfied. And so anyways, one thing I'm going to mention is that I do have this demo available on my Discord, and it is right now in a private section, but it's as easy as just subscribing to the Patreon to get the playtester role on my Discord. And it is like a $3 tier. However, I don't want your money unless you really want to, you know, give me like a coffee tip. But really, I have a link on the Discord that will basically grant you 1 year free of the playtester tier on Patreon. So like I said, I don't really want your money. The reason I'm using Patreon is so I can create and manage a controlled, closed community. I think it's more of just a future thing, like you know, like preparing for the future. You know, if the community ever got you know, if the community grows as I would like it to, it might become a time where it's hard for me to manage it. And so the cost on it does help with like the exclusivity of it. And so, you know, maybe that will come in handy someday, but like, and you know, there are people who do want to help with the you know, the funding of the game. But it's never anything I really expect. Ooh. I really need to not play this game as good as I'm playing it. It's so hard for me to unknow what I know when I play it. But that's why, you know, and that's another reason I have this playtesting tier for enroll for Discord now, because I do want a variety of people to play it. But the thing is new people who have never played the game before are very, very valuable to me. And the problem is it is a resource that I constantly need to find. You know, it doesn't matter how many friends I have. Once they've all played the game, they've all played the game. And so it's hard to get that. It's hard to get that from outside of these events, and that's why I plan to keep doing these events. And you know, making and you know, trying to promote this Patreon, which will allow people. I mean, essentially free access to playing it. It's just in a little more controlled way. And yeah, it's kind of a big time for me and the game, because I've never been at this point before where I'm really ready to just throw it all out there, you know, like I am right now. And it feels great because I've been working on this game. It's crazy for me to say this, but I think it's been 5 years now. Like, or it's starting to be. It's, I think, 4.5 years. I can't remember, because I know that the first commit for version control was it was February 2021. So 4.5 years there, but something tells me, and I have to go and verify this somehow, that I actually started it in August of the year before, which is literally 5 years from now. I think I started like the prototype, like there was a demo I made, which was very I made it in like 2 weeks, and someday I'll show it off, because in the crazy thing is, it was a lot of fun, and all it was you were running through hallways, and you're one of the characters. You're actually the character that you see at the end of this demo in the darkness. He was the first character I made for the game, and I designed him myself and did the art for him and everything. And you just go through the hallway, and you have fireballs, actually just like those ones. And the more you kill, the faster the fireballs got. And it was just funny, because you get to a point where it was just like this endless stream of fireballs. And I had already also designed the Higus here, that, you know, they looked a lot different than they look here, a lot more simple, but you know, you just run around and you just kill them and they splatter. And I had a very similar blood effect back then too. And yeah, it was just like a really fun demo, and I believe I made that in August, late 2020. And yeah, I'll have to show that off sometime. It was the prototype that led to this game. I made it in 2 weeks, and I was like, I need to make this into something more. And the hook on that back then wasn't even really anything too crazy. It was more about just making the game feel fun and good, and things splatter when they die, and something you can turn your mind off and just shoot and kill. You know, it was just supposed to be simple fun. And ever since that moment, that's exactly what I've tried to keep the priority to be. And I think, you know, personally, I've done good with that. You know, as a game that I started with the goal to make a game that I always wanted to play. You know, me playing it right now, 5 years later, I could say this is a game that this is a lot closer to the game that I've always wanted to play, or, you know, and there's a lot to go, for sure. Absolutely a lot to go. But I'm proud of it. Absolutely proud of it. One thing I didn't get to emphasize too much in this demo is the rhythm aspect of it. So, you know, when you fire a weapon, it's always in sync with the beat of the music. No matter what weapon it is. Oh, you know what? I was gonna print these out. Oh, it'd be handy to have. Hey, Zelda. She wants my food. There he is. Yeah, I can't wait to get into his part. And so basically the way it works is the arm from Auric, the Gorg that you're playing as, grows into this egg that you hatch from, and then you start at the bottom and have to get stronger from there with your new character. So I'm going to do the endless combat. This is something that I can just play for a while, and so I have this little thing here, the tutorial, and once you do that, it's all good. And yep. I recently added the shadow underneath the characters, and you know, I think it's all right. So for the convention, I think I'm going to keep it with this biome here, the Clug biome. Just because, you know, the other one, you know, just to keep things simple a little bit. One of the things I learned from playtesting in Brooklyn when I did was the less you have to tell the player verbally, the better. And that was the thing that I think I just didn't anticipate enough. Was the first time I play tested this game, it was like I felt like I needed to watch over them and tell them exactly, you know, like, oh, what they have to do, and oh, interesting, those walls aren't supposed to be in this build. And it's funny because I've removed them what I thought once, and then I removed them again, and now they're back in again. So now I'm thinking that now there's a possibility that I didn't move them that once, and then haven't regened since the last one, or since the second time I removed them, but something tells me that they're, I don't know, those ones aren't really ready. These ones look pretty good though. But what I was saying was, I think that I wasn't really anticipating me having this urge to like tell them everything about the game. And it wasn't just me wanting to tell them. It was, oh, they don't know that you can change the limbs on, like, you know, it was basically, there was no tutorial. There was no tutorial for the game. You know, it was, you have to pick, and I had this little, I had my tablet up with the controls on the screen. Literally no one read it, not once the entire time. And Zelda, what do you have? What is that? Hold up. Hey, Code. The engine I'm using is Unity, yeah. And thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, you know, and the one thing that I was always happy to hear, and that, you know, the first time I did play test it, was even though there weren't very great instructions on what to, I mean, I didn't have any, right? It was just it was this without the control thing here, and no tutorial like I have in the story mode of the game. But even despite that, everyone who had played it basically said, you know, they had a lot of fun with it and it felt good to play, and that was great for me to hear, because that was always the thing that I've been going for with this game, is just trying to make it feel good. This is the game that, you know, when it's all said and done, I want to be able to just shut my mind down at night and just play it mindlessly and have it feel fun, have it feel good, and you know, have it work the dopamine engine in my brain. So one thing in this demo right here, I had it in the UI before, but I took it out just for the, ooh, that's an interesting animation bug right there. I bet that happens because, so all of the characters are everything, honestly, almost like literally everything on screen is pooled. So when I go zone to zone, everything is reused and just repositioned and reconfigured and maybe skinned differently. But I wonder if that those guys' animations were screwed up because they like died facing a certain direction, and then when they were brought back to life for the next level, the old animation tracks weren't 100% cleaned out. It's an interesting one. I'll have to look into that later, but that is not a bug that I'm really worried about trying to remove before the convention. We're really looking for showstoppers here, and to be honest, I do feel pretty confident in this build. But also, it's going to be 3 12-hour days, so we'll see. The problem is I just always play it the same way I always play it, and I know I can't do that, but I don't know how to not do that, you know? Yeah, I think this biome is a good contrast with the, you know, the red Devile biome that I mostly am using in the demo. I do still have the debug menu in here, so I could, if I wanted to, change the biome during the convention to either like show it to people, or just, you know, maybe I'll have one day and another day, just to give it a different like feel and vibe. But I think the Clug one that was just up will be the one that I keep on the majority of the time. I like this biome though. I definitely contrast the red one, but the other one's like red, yellow, orange. This one's still kind of like orange yellowish. So, you know, we've got the cycle one's not really done. The Gorg one's not bad with the blue. Could definitely have some contrast with this one. I should change up the weapons a little bit. I feel like I've been using these ones for a while. Oh, you know what? I think I have like a lot more health in the playtest. Oh no, those traps are barely doing any damage. 6. Oh yeah. That's probably good though. Oh, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, so those same traps were in the boss battle of the story demo that I made, and a lot of people were complaining about it because it was killing them. I ended up just removing them, but now that I think about it, oh, I haven't seen these walls pop up naturally before. These are the, which is a crazy thing to say considering I implemented them, but I had them disabled, but I turned them on for this demo, and it's just like an alternative approach to the walls that I'm kind of playing with. And in this case, it's just the same wall, but like flattened down, so it's just like this ground of just fur and claws and whatnot, and I like it. And there, I'm gonna do another one with the same. We're gonna devile. Let's refresh it a few times until we get it. Oh, went right past it. This one here. These are my favorite walls, and I'm gonna do one where just the like it's just spikes for as far as you can see. But this is one I definitely won't be showing off too much at the convention, just because the story mode is using that biome. Oh yeah, let's switch weapons. There's that animation bug again. The funny, I love bugs like that though. They're fun. Denied. Oh man, this is definitely my favorite weapon just because of. Man, there's got a lot of knockback. I didn't remember it being this much knockback. It's funny, I like the weapons that really make their body parts just like full send. But at the same time, it makes it harder to actually defeat those enemies because you can't pick up their parts fast enough before they respawn. So it's a little trade-off that I kind of, I intentionally put in there. Okay. Oh, he's back. Yeah, there's almost like too much on that one because like I'm not getting their parts are blending in a little bit, and I did add the little shake on there. Oh, nope, that's it. Music changed. Yeah, if you're out there and watching the stream and liking the game and you want to give it a try yourself, hit up the Discord, hit up the Patreon. Like I said, I have a link on the Discord for a free year of the Patreon. I don't need your money. Or rather, I don't want to take. I'm not trying to ask people for money right now. I just want to make a community of people who like video games and want to play it. The Patreon just gives me like a way to like control that a little bit better. I want this to grow into something larger, so building that community there that way could definitely help allow me to do that in the future. But yeah, I'm gonna be basically I'm gonna be trying to doing like at least monthly updates to this build, but whenever I get something in that's worth you know, putting out there and having people try it out, giving their feedback. But, you know, at least once a month. And I'm also doing the whole, like, calling it the dev diary. That animation blending issue, it probably is something I should fix because it happens all the time. Now I'm noticing. Oh man, I don't think I'm gonna, but like, I feel like that is something that people are going to see and be like, what? But also the other thing is like a lot of people, like what I keep forgetting is people see things and they don't know what things are supposed to look like or what they're supposed to be. Like a lot of bugs that pop up, a person who's only been playing the game for 30 seconds is not going to recognize it as a bug, unless it's like really bad, right? And I haven't really come across anything like that yet, but that one's getting close. Oh my gosh, I love this. Just body parts flying everywhere. The fireballs have fully leveled up. See, I still have the leveling up in this demo here. I don't have the UI showing it happening. You know, if I was able to have a little pop-up saying, you know, level up speed or something like that, that would have been great, but didn't have time. So this just has to work for now. It's a nice little hidden surprise for people playing. The crazy thing about this game is it's most fun when you're just so overpowered, and it's been interesting trying to game design around that, and like trying to, is this interesting, the light on the, yeah, that animation bug looks so weird. Interesting, the light on the paths going down stops very early. Like there should be way more light, and I'm realizing now it's not the light, it's actually the fog clearer. So as you can tell, there's fog around all, you know, the level, and there's these things called fog units which allow the camera to see through the fog and into the level. So there's one giant fog unit over this whole area, and then there's some in the passageways too. Oh my gosh, something in my eye. It looks like the one's missing in this the bottom one. So I really just gotta crank the fireballs on here and just leave it, you know, leave this zone running at the convention, because I feel like this is definitely a fun little level. I'm really wondering about that video bug, you know, the resolution bug I hit at the beginning of the stream though. I might look into that tonight. Like I said, I don't wanna do too much, but that's not even like an in-game thing. Famous last words. I won't create another bug while I fix that one bug. I won't create more bugs than I'm fixing. How long have I been going for? A little over an hour. Yeah, I mean, we've seen a few bugs, but nothing too surprising other than that one I was just talking about. But nothing, I don't think anything is going to be a showstopper just yet, really. I'm pretty happy with this. I'm going to go for a little bit longer, but I also can't just... I've got a lot of other things to do to prepare for the convention. So one thing I'm gonna do is actually set up a camera at the booth and stream people playing the demo all day for 3 days, and that'll be really fun. So definitely follow along. Hello, Zelda. Definitely follow along and keep watch for that stream, because that one is gonna be a fun one. And I might do little montages afterwards of any good clips I get out of that. I'm gonna do Psycho for a little bit. Yeah, this one just doesn't have like that orb just exploded, but the animation still shows it like being alive. Like there's just certain things with this zone that's just not ready to be play tested yet. It'd probably only take me a few days to make it work. Not even, it'd probably take me 1 day to get the zone to the point where it needs to be, or the biome, that is. I feel like visually it needs work though too. It's like a little bit at odds with itself, I think, because you have the mechanical stuff and then you have the organic stuff, and I'm not quite sure they're blended in a way that makes it work just yet. I think I need some new art, like especially the grass, the way it meets the ground, maybe even some tweaks to the colors. Oh, interesting. Those guys aren't going to the... I wonder if... Oh, no. Yeah, things have changed. Okay, so the Higu's update. Yeah. Okay, let's try to get back into a zone where... Oh yeah, they're always the same. Yeah, and... Man, I actually almost do want to figure that out, because it just looks so weird. Yeah, I probably won't change biomes, because I'm realizing those guys, they don't actually change to their biome specific variant. Alright, so we're gonna go back to Klug, and I really should just be testing out what I'm going to be showing there. Alright, let's do like a little bit of a harder weapon here. The Gorg Slash is a little more close range. Thing about these ones is when they die, they drop their parts like pretty much right there, so... Ooh, they got me. So it's easier to eliminate someone off the map when you kill them than with the fireballs. Oh, I guess those things don't spawn anything right now. I say like I've never played my game before. They used to spawn stuff. The thing is like to get the story demo working on time in the 5 weeks that I had, I really had to grind, and I unfortunately had to. What? That is an interesting color that it's reacting. Also realizing my light on this shield is red. On the Gorg one in the story demo, it's yellow or white. I can't remember. Huh. Oh, we haven't seen this zone yet. It's funny that everything's on a rhythm with the music. So like as they go over all these traps, it's just making like a nice little beat. Oh man, I need to make a reel about that. So basically, anytime a sound effect happens in the game, it cues on the hardware and waits, or actually that's not the right way to say it. Every time that a sound plays, it looks at what the next beat of the music is going to be. And every object that emits a sound is on some sort of beat interval. So that could be 4th notes, 8th notes, 16th notes, right? I also have all the triplet variants in there as well. And so when a sound plays, it looks at its beat interval, and then it looks at when is that next beat interval to the track that's currently playing. And then it schedules itself on the hardware, the audio hardware, to play at that point. And the reason why the hardware scheduling is very important is because it's frame rate independent. So since frame rate is so much slower than sample rate of music, the chance that the beat of the music is going to actually precisely occur on a frame of the game is actually really low. And so when you're tying that kind of thing to the frame rate of the game, you're going to get these small little variations on when you hear the sound and actually when the beat of the music is. And if you just let that run unchecked, you're going to have really inconsistent rhythms and beats that the sound effects are making. But if you schedule it onto the hardware, it's no longer tied to the frame rate, it's tied to the sample rate. And so that ensures that every sound in the game is always in beat with the music. So I can drag these guys around these traps here, and it's just been making a rhythm this whole time. All right, now you die. Now I die. Yeah, I really am annoyed by those animation things that are happening there. Might look into it tonight. Yeah, this is definitely the worst weapon to use. Also, every enemy in the game attacks on the beat of the music too. So I can like time my shield to like kind of protect against them on time. The shield's one of the things in the game I definitely need to tweak more than the other things. I want to do a parry, like a timed parry, and that's when like the music stuff's gonna really start to, you know, have more of apart and everything. Yeah, the whole that I hate what. Yeah, like the more it's happening, the more I'm actually annoyed by these guys. Like it's funny and everything, but it's not like an occasional bug. This is literally every time you go to a new zone that has these guys in it, their first frame is not correct. And I think this has to be something that's pretty easy to fix though, without many consequences, but you know, always got to be careful. What a good kitty cat. All right, I think I've played it enough for tonight. I've got some other things I still need to do, and I think I am gonna try to fix that thing. I'm probably gonna try to figure out what was going on with that resolution thing earlier. But other than that, I'm so happy with everything we got here. I can't wait for this convention. I'm gonna be streaming the whole thing the whole time. So tune in, come watch. It's gonna be fun. There's like 3 12-hour days pretty much going on here, and where, you know, we're gonna have hundreds of people playing this demo live on this channel. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And Zelda unfortunately won't be there, but she'll be here nice and comfy right where she always is. All right, friends, this was a nice fun little stream. I don't normally get to just play the game and chat. I actually really like that, like doing this style stream. I don't do it that often, but the truth is sometimes it is good for me to just play the game and make observations, and I also think it makes good commentary as well, in terms of explaining the game design behind my game, and you know, the reasons that I make the decisions that I do and my lessons learned. I probably am going to try to do these kind of streams more often. I actually like it because sometimes when I'm actually developing on stream, it gets to be a little much. And I'm not going to stop doing those by any means, but I actually had a lot of fun doing this stream. So I think we can look forward to more streams like this. Zelda definitely looks forward to more streams like this, where she gets pet the whole time. Just like this. Yes. Okay. Well, anyways, follow along if you want to see more game dev like this, especially if you want to see the anime convention, you know, people playing it, you know, this weekend. Also check out the Discord in the Patreon. Like I said, just click the link on my Discord for 1 year free for the Patreon. That lets you play this game, play test it. You get to see my dev diary, you know, the things I do day to day. You know, just a new thing I just rolled out this weekend in preparation for this event, and trying to build a community and make something really rad. All right, that's it. That's my pitch. Thanks, friends.